Now, one of the world's greatest musicals is returning to London 50 years after it was first staged. When it opened, West Side Story was a landmark piece of musical theatre focusing on immigration and gang violence. The new performance will revive the same choreography used in the original Broadway show, but there'll be new costumes and set design. From Sadler's Wells, Razia Iqbal reports.
It's cool dance sequences, dark subject matter of gangs, immigration and social problems made West Side Story a landmark musical, a turning point in theatre. And it spawned a now classic film which won 10 Oscars and established the Stephen Sondheim songs and Leonard Bernstein score in the minds of millions. It's one of the most popular storylines based on Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet, and this stage version has caused the kind of buzz the original production enjoyed.
It still connects to people, and it will connect to people forever, because these things still happen. Love not happening because of circumstances. Everyone identifies with it in some way or the other.
When the original production opened 50 years ago, critics described it as changing the course of music theatre history. The success of this production around the world shows that it's dated little. It was a theatrical event then, and it is again today. There is history with a pedigree here too. The original score was orchestrated by Leonard Bernstein himself, and this tune was among his all-time personal favourites. With new sets and costumes plus rave reviews, this production both pays homage to the original and is beginning to earn its own place centre stage. Razia Iqbal, BBC News.
Looks good. Well, there's more national and international news over on the BBC News channel.
And it's totally free. You can get all the details on our website. Now, West Side Story is back on the London stage with a moving love story, classic choreography and the catchiest of tunes. It's bound to be popular. But 50 years from when it first opened in London, who would have expected its subject matter of young gang crime to be so relevant? Here's our entertainment correspondent, Brenda Manus.
It all began tonight.
The Jets, the Sharks and poor Tony and Maria caught in between. West Side Story was set to change the course of musical theatre when it opened on Broadway in 1957 and still remains one of the most successful stage shows of all time. Along with the unforgettable score and lyrics by Leonard Bernstein and Stephen Sondheim, it was the groundbreaking choreography by Jerome Robbins that has stuck with generations. He died a decade ago, but his estate is adamant that the choreography is never tampered with. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. So the show's director has found another way to refresh this masterpiece.
I think mainly just cast it very young. You know, the younger they are, the more real they become, and the less musical comedy, you know, the show is, the more truth-orientated, the more of a play. I try to create more of a play that's real as opposed to a show-and-tell musical.
The 1961 film version won 10 Oscars, but Joey believes there is still something special about experiencing this classic story live.
There's choreographic things you don't get to see in the film that are not in the real production, and also it's just, I think it's edgier and more youthful live.
This anniversary production sold out in Paris, Tokyo and Beijing, and for one of its young stars, performing the role has profoundly affected her.
I dream as Maria, I have nightmares as Maria, which can be quite confusing at times, but at the same time it's worth it because I kind of become the character, which is, it's an amazing feeling and it's definitely worth it.
There's no doubt that in the hands of a courageous choreographer like Matthew Bourne, this show would look very different. But with its themes that still resonate with a contemporary audience and of course the great music and dance, we'll be loving this for another 50 years. It's at Sadler's Wells until the end of August. Brenda Manus, BBC London News.
Looks good.